a land upon which, for centuries, a king ruled who did not just claim the crown, but claimed to be God.
I am your Lord!
For whom people did not walk on the ground, but in prostrations. And then such a night came when a dream stole that king's sleep, and when death came before him, he could not even compete with a single drop of water. Allah prevented even his body from being buried in the earth, and made him a sign of warning until the day of judgment. Egypt was the most powerful country of that era. Cities settled along the banks of the Nile, where crops yielded gold. Markets were full, palaces were made not of stone, but of pride. And in the midst of all this, one person, Pharaoh.
Done!
His command was not just law, it was a belief. People did not just obey his word, they had faith in his word. He used to say, "I am your greatest Lord," and Egypt remained silent. In this same Egypt, there was a nation that did not see the light, the Bani Israel. Their houses were separate, their clothing was different, and their lives were different. And push harder. They were made slaves. Their men would lift stones from morning to evening, building palaces, and would collapse exhausted at night. Their women were kept alive only so that the cycle of slavery could continue. Pharaoh intentionally kept this nation weak.
Bloody civilians!
Because a nation that is weak can never shake the throne. According to Tafsir Ibn Kasir, one night Pharaoh saw a dream. He saw a fire emerging from the direction of Baytul Maqdis that was burning the houses of Egypt, but the houses of the Bani Israel were safe. Pharaoh woke up in terror. This was the first time he felt himself weak. That same night, astrologers and those claiming knowledge of the unseen were summoned to the court. The dream was narrated, and then that sentence was spoken, which changes history. A boy will be born among the Bani Israel who will become the cause of the downfall of your kingdom. From here, Pharaoh's pride began to turn into fear. When fear enters the heart, intellect leaves, and when intellect leaves, oppression is born. Pharaoh thought, "Let us end the problem before it is born." And then that order was written, which was not a law, but a death warrant. Pharaoh said, "Kill every newborn boy of the Bani Israel." Swords moved from city to city. Mothers' laps were desolated. Thousands of innocents lost their lives. In this era of oppression, Musa alayhi salam was born. His mother lived in constant fear. Then Allah said, "Suckle him, and when you feel danger, cast him into the river, and do not fear. We will return him to you." According to the tafsir, that mother silently prepared a chest for Musa alayhi salam and placed it in the river. The river was flowing, and on that water was a small chest. Musa A.S.'s mother said to her sister, "Keep watching from a distance, but do not go near." That sister kept moving while hiding. Finally, that chest reached the edge of Pharaoh's palace. When Pharaoh's wife, Hazrat Asiya, saw the chest, she had it opened. As soon as her eyes fell upon that child, Allah put mercy in her heart. She immediately said, "Do not kill him. Perhaps he may be beneficial for us, or we may adopt him as a son." Pharaoh looked at the child, a child of the same nation whose lineage he was erasing. But pride spoke up. What harm can this child do? And from here, the time of Pharaoh's downfall began. Musa alayhi salam would not accept the milk of any other woman. The palace became worried, and then that sister stepped forward and said, "I can tell you of a woman who can raise this child well." And thus, the mother who had cast her child into the river, Allah returned him with the honor of the palace. Time passed, and Musa alayhi salam became a young man. Allah says, "And when he reached his full strength and maturity, we granted him wisdom and knowledge." One day, Musa alayhi salam entered the city and found two men fighting, one from the Bani Israel and one Egyptian. The man from the Bani Israel cried out, "Help me!" That voice struck straight at Musa's heart. Musa stepped forward. He struck a punch. The Egyptian fell to the ground and then did not rise again. Musa realized a killing had occurred and asked Allah for forgiveness. Allah says, "Then we forgave him." But Egypt did not forgive. The city caught fire, there was noise in the court, and Pharaoh's face turned red. The order was issued, "Kill Musa." A man came running from the other side of the city and said, "The chiefs are consulting to kill you. Leave here." Musa did not look back. No wealth, no belongings, only faith. Allah says, He left the city between fear and hope, desert, heat, hunger, thirst, and only one prayer of Musa. "O my Lord, save me from the oppressors and take me under the shadow of your protection." Finally,
Musa alayhi salam
reached Midyan. Outside the city was a well where men were watering animals, and two girls stood silently at a distance.
Musa alayhi salam
Asked, "Why are you two not taking water from the well?" They said, "We wait until the men leave, and our father is a very old man."
Musa alayhi salam
Stepped forward alone and watered their animals, and then walked away. Then, sitting under the shade of a tree, he said, "O my Lord, I am in need of whatever good you bestow upon me." A short while later, one of the girls came to him and said, "My father is calling you so he may reward you." That elder was Hazrat.
Shu'aib alayhi salam.
According to most commentators,
Musa alayhi salam
narrated his entire story.
Shu'aib alayhi salam
Said, "Do not fear, now you are safe from the oppressors." Shoab's daughter said, "Father, hire him. He is strong and trustworthy." Hazrat Shoab as said, "I wish to marry my daughter to you on the condition that you serve us for 8 years, and if you complete 10 years, it is your will."
Musa alayhi salam
Accepted. These 10 years were no ordinary years. Herding goats, solitude, patience, mercy. The prince of Egypt was now a shepherd. When the term was completed,
Musa alayhi salam
set out towards Egypt with his wife. Nighttime, cold, the wilderness, and then Musa as saw a light on a distant mountain and told his wife, "You stay here, I will bring fire or ask for directions." But that fire was not fire. When
Musa alayhi salam
went near, a voice came.
O Musa,
Musa's body trembled.
I am indeed your Lord. Remove your shoes. You are in the sacred valley of Tua. I have chosen you.
Allah commanded, "Go to Pharaoh. He has become rebellious. Your staff is a sign, and we have placed a special power in it."
Musa alayhi salam
Said, "O Lord, there is a knot in my tongue. Make my brother Harun my helper." Allah said, "Your prayer is accepted." Then
Musa alayhi salam
went to Pharaoh's palace with his brother Harun.
alayhi salam
Pharaoh, with his arrogant smile, asked, "Who is your Lord?"
Musa alayhi salam
Replied, "My Lord is he who gives life and death." Pharaoh said in anger, "You are playing with us. Prove it to me." The greatest magicians of Egypt were called. They threw ropes, and it seemed to people like snakes. People's hearts trembled. But
Musa alayhi salam
simply picked up the staff and placed it on the ground, and it became a real python. That python swallowed the fake snakes of the magicians. The magician said, "This is not magic, this is the power of Allah." They all fell to prostration. Pharaoh's pride and harshness deepened. He screamed, "This is all a lie. I alone am your Lord." The Quran says, he remained mired in oppression. And then the wait for Allah's punishment began. Allah sent the first sign of punishment to Pharaoh and his people. A terrifying storm was sent upon the land of Egypt. This was not just a rise in water, it was the execution of punishment which destroyed their crops. Everything was submerged, and the support of their livelihood was erased. When the storm passed, and people thought they might get some peace, another sign came, a swarm of locusts that ate every green thing on the earth. Another punishment was sent, lice or pests that stuck to people's bodies and troubled everything. Every moment served as a reminder that this power is from Allah, not from your pride. And then another sign came advancing, as frogs began to emerge from every corner. This was no ordinary seasonal change, but a voiceless punishment. The fifth punishment came, and the water of Egypt turned red like blood. Fish died, the water was filled with filth, and Pharaoh still said, "This is all Musa's magic." In the Quran, Allah has mentioned the signs sent upon Pharaoh. These included not only punishments, but also the miracles of
Musa alayhi salam.
Then Allah told
Musa alayhi salam
to leave Egypt with his people at night. The nation silently left their homes and lives, moving away from tyranny. They had neither much luggage nor any swords, only the belief in Allah's help. When morning came and Pharaoh saw that the people had disappeared from Egypt, his pride flared up again. We will catch them and show them that we are the powerful ones. The nation of Bani Israel reached the edge of the sea with
Musa alayhi salam.
The sea looked very deep in front of them. The people of Bani Israel said, "We are trapped. This terrifying water is waiting for our fate, and behind us is the army of death."
Musa alayhi salam
said, "Never. My Lord is with me. He will show us the way." Allah commanded
Musa alayhi salam,
"Strike the water with your staff."
Musa alayhi salam,
Following Allah's command, struck his staff on the water. The water split into two parts, two walls rose, and a dry path emerged in the middle. People cried out. The faith of the Bani Israel was strengthened, and they began to walk on that path. Pharaoh and his army saw that path. Even then he said, "We can do this too.
No one can stop us." He moved between the walls of water with his horses and forces. His pride was so deep that despite the signs telling the truth, he would not believe. When the last person of the Bani Israel emerged from the middle of the sea, Allah commanded, "Water, join back together and close the sea." And just like that, the water fell like a collapsing house. The waves surrounded Pharaoh and his army from every side. Every horse and every soldier drowned. When his final moment arrived, Pharaoh's eyes opened and he said, "I believe in that Lord whom the Bani Israel believe in." But at that time, his faith was not accepted. Allah said that today we will save your body so that it becomes a lesson for everyone. Hazrat Asiya, who was Pharaoh's wife, is mentioned in the Quran. Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, who brought faith by Allah's command and kept herself safe through patience and worship in her home. Allah prepared paradise for her. This incident showed that even the greatest pride in the world is a victim of just one human death.